everyone, my name is Maria and welcome to the channel. Last time we thoroughly examined the body and I really want to find out what those tattoos mean. So I'm going into the bookshop. Maybe we can find something here. Unfortunately, we cannot try to open this door, not yet, because we need more physical pain or something like that.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective, Dick Mullen.
Look through the display of books.
Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers.
But as I understand, a lot of people like those books.
These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. Furthermore, they have no idea how hard it is to simply remove a body from a tree.
It wasn't that hard.
What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives.
Yeah, that is probably true.
Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Sure.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen.
I think that Harry could use one of those books, maybe even for motivation.
A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. An obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower. The Ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre. The Murder of Dick Mullen.
Are there any more? Dick Mullen dies? I don't think so.
Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case.
Are there any more?
Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns.
The Dame Who Did It sounds interesting, to be honest.
Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
Oh, let's try. Who is Dick Mullen?
Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity.
Oh, wait, is it some sort of foreshadowing for our character? Maybe I should have been more attentive.
A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence.
Why does this speak to me? This is so interesting.
Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals?
No, it's gotta be something else.
Perhaps you're drawn to the dark and noirish atmosphere.
No.
Is it because the smoking dame in the slinky red dress on the cover is giving you a hard-on?
What? No! Oh, I have the same answer. That's not what's happening.
Yes, it is. The bulge in your pants is embarrassingly obvious.
Really?
Relax. It's not that bad. Also, this means your blood flow is returning to normal. Good news, really.
Something the matter, detective?
Nope, all good here. Kim, would you describe this woman as a smoking dame?
The lieutenant narrows his eyes and contemplates the book for a moment.
I would certainly say she fits the description, providing that's your type.
Alright. Now I want to buy it, but we don't have the money. You know what? We don't have the money for the room anyway. So you know what? I'm buying the book.
Of course. Such violence and immorality. Enjoy.
Thank you. We can actually read it now? Where is it? Really?
In your hand, you hold Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity. The brittle paperback feels fragile to the touch.
I gained a thought again, really. Which one? Oh no, I think one of them is finished. That's great. Examine the cover.
The cover features a pastiche of different scenes. In the foreground, a man in a dark overcoat clutches a pistol to his chest. Rising up behind him are two silhouettes wrapped in a passionate embrace. The tagline reads, "Detective Dick Mullen must prove his innocence after an old friend is murdered by someone who looks just like Dick Mullen." That seems to sum up the premise nicely. Needless to say, it violates nearly every RCM regulation for a detective to investigate a murder in which he is a suspect.
That makes sense.
Are you really reading that, detective?
Yes, what's wrong about that? I really need to know who this Dick Mullen guy is.
Good luck finding it. He's not much of a character, I think you'll find. Just a stand-in for the reader.
Oh, so he has read it, really? You like books? That's good to know. So he likes books and cars. Anything else? Oh, and music, because there was something about the drama, remember?
The story opens with a knock at the door. Detective Dick Mullen is greeted by an old friend, Charlie Spillane, who's come to Mullen to ask a favor on this dark and cold night. Spillane needs Mullen to drive him in from Vespa to a small town along the Insulindian coast. Despite his friend's apparent agitation, Mullen does as he's asked, then returns home where he passes out drunk, as he does most nights.
That does sound relatable for our Harry.
An extremely unprofessional and hurtful stereotype that's offensive to all upstanding officers of the law, but also extremely accurate in your case.
Hey, I'm trying, that's true.
Give it time. You'll fall off the wagon sooner or later.
No, I won't. Keep reading.
2 days later, Mullen is arrested by the Vespa police and charged with the murder of Charlie Spillane. At his interrogation, Mullen learns that Charlie Spillane was shot in a bar in the very town Mullen dropped him off in by a man matching Mullen's description. Desperate to clear his name, Mullen manages to convince the Vespa police to release him for 3 days so that Mullen may solve his friend's murder and prove his innocence.
To be honest, I would probably read a book like this. The cops release their prime murder suspect so he can find the real killer.
What's the matter, detective?
I don't know who's writing this shit, but I get the feeling they aren't experts of homicide investigations.
The lieutenant shrugs, resigned to the idea that his profession will rarely, if ever, be accurately represented in art and literature. They're not shitting you, detective. This is what the writers think passes for police procedure.
Okay, so Mullen didn't do it. Keep reading.
Of course, Mullen didn't do it. That's the whole premise of the book. Anyway, Mullen returns to the seaside bar where Spillane was murdered and meets a beautiful, mysterious woman named Diana DeNerva.
Nice, a dame.
And not just any dame. She's truly one in a million, a knockout whose mind is as dangerous as her curves. But she's got a secret.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
She's any man's kind of woman, according to this book. Are you sure about that? Something about her gives you a bad feeling. What kind of secret is she hiding?
I'm not sure.
You couldn't handle a woman like that. Look at yourself. You couldn't even handle your...
Composure, don't be like that. You couldn't even handle your ex-wife, probably.
Stop. Don't say it.
Oh, they can talk to each other. I don't think they do it that often, right? I really don't think so. Don't say what?
Nothing. Forget it. Go back to your story.
I don't want to forget. Now it's getting interesting.
DeNerve reveals that she was Spillane's lover and that he was mixed up with a local amphetamine smuggling operation. As soon as Mullen begins pulling at strings, the whole conspiracy begins to unravel. Not only is the local police captain in on the amphetamine ring, so is the son of a powerful politician and a strung-out art collector named Torvald, each of whom has his own reasons for wanting Spillane dead.
Tell me about the corrupt police captain.
Outwardly, the old police captain is a real law and order crypto-fascist, a barrel-chested man who's beaten his share of suspects to pulp. But he's also dirty and increasingly paranoid that someone's going to expose his role in the drug ring.
No wonder.
He would certainly have the motive and the means, but the captain walks with a noticeable limp from an old war injury. Is it possible that he was able to conceal it long enough to commit the murder?
Of course it's possible, but I don't know. I want to hear about the politician's son.
A typical privileged twat. In all likelihood, he's just in over his head. He does bear a personal grudge against Spillane, though, a former prosecutor who nearly brought down his father's administration. The kid doesn't exactly have Dick Mullen's manly build, but he is the correct height, and while interrogating him at his home, Mullen did notice a certain overcoat that looks suspiciously like his own.
Alright, that sounds like a suggestion. For a murderer. What was that about an art collector?
Torvald, the art collector, is a strung-out mess. Frankly, it's hard to imagine him holding a pistol steady enough to actually hit someone, let alone plug them 3 times in the chest the way Spillane got did. That said, Torvald and Spillane have a long history, and while interrogating him, Mullen discovers that Torvald was once involved with Diana Deneuve. Could it be that this is all over a sordid love triangle?
Of course it could, but I hope there is more to it.
One evening, Diana Deneuve comes to Mullen's hostel room in tears. The two of them drink half a bottle of vodka, and soon they're seeking comfort in each other's arms.
Ooh.
Yes, comfort and pleasure. The warmth of another human's touch. The burning taste of liquor on her full, sweet lips.
Finally he's saying something positive.
Well, that testimony won't be admissible any longer.
How does Mullen expect to solve the murder if he's sleeping with a witness? Nice, get it, Mullen. I'm not sure I'm happy with this, but maybe the story will turn it around. Nice, get it, Mullen.
As the two lovers share a post-coital cigarette, Diana Deneuve turns to Mullen and says, "By the way, Dick, there was something else I meant to tell you.
What?
I love you."
No, I don't think so, sorry.
Whatever it is, Mullen never hears the words. A blow to the base of his skull knocks him out cold instantly.
Fuck. Can't trust Dame.
Who can you trust in this wicked, messed up world?
Your partner, no one, just your own 2 eyes. I started trusting him for sure, but I don't know what I think about him yet. But maybe he will notice and say something that could be interesting. And yeah, as I said, I choose to trust him. Because, I was too paranoid. Imagine if he kills us in the end. That would be fun. But no, I choose to trust him.
The lieutenant gives you a quizzical expression in return. You go back to the story.
That's kind of sweet.
When Mullen comes to, Deneuve is dead on the hostel bed next to him. To make matters worse, his clothes are covered with her blood.
Oh wait, it's almost 9. We need to go to the balcony. Alright, I hope we have time. Double fuck.
Mullen trashes his blood-stained clothes and flees the hostel, knowing it's only a matter of hours before the cops discover Deneuve's body, if they haven't been tipped off already.
Yeah, that's very suspicious because it was a witness and we are a suspect and now she's killed. It doesn't look good.
Fleeing a crime scene, destroying evidence. Even if Detective Mullen didn't commit the murder, he should be facing years behind bars.
True.
The heat is on. If Dick Mullen can't solve both murders before the cops catch up to him, he's going away for life.
That is a very good story for the book. I genuinely want to read it.
Can you solve the case before the cops close in?
I've got some questions first.
What is it, Detective?
Why does everyone close to Dick Mullen wind up dead?
It's a dangerous line of work, but somebody has to do it. That's why Dick Mullen never lets anyone get too close.
Why did he become a detective in the first place?
There was never a time when he wasn't a detective. He was born a detective.
Why? Wait, was I not born to be a detective?
For a moment, you cease to read the story on the page and see the book for what it is. A collection of brittle, cheaply printed pages held together by glue made from the hooves of horses.
Really? They make glue from the hooves of horses? Or is it just a figure of speech?
From nowhere, you hear the screech of sneakers on a waxed floor, and you feel the burn of rope against your hands. Are these figments of some other life? You won't find the answers you're looking for here. In other words,
Alright. Why bother solving crimes when the world is so evil?
is it really so evil, Detective?
Okay, maybe not. There are parts worth saving.
Like what?
Friends and family?
Do you even have those?
I've got Kim now.
Just make sure you don't lose him. You'll not find another like him.
Are we falling in love with Kim? Listen, I don't mind. It would be nice to get some money from Joyce first, but, it's a good option.
It's true in more ways than you know.
Oh, that sounds intriguing. Just make sure you don't lose him. You'll not find another like him. The game definitely is hinting at something. Oof, alright, that got interesting.
But then, what does this book know? It's just a poorly made piece of pulp garbage made to be consumed and discarded.
It's not garbage. I figured it out.
So, who did it, Detective? Who killed Charlie Spillane and Deanna Deneuve?
Communism killed them. Love did them in. Dick Mullen? I don't know. I have no idea. Oof. I don't think it's the police captain. I hope it's not communism killed them.
Have you been paying attention at all? It wasn't Mullen. It was an imposter. Now go on. Find out who really did it.
Alright.
You begin furiously flipping through pages. Even as you know these books follow a series of well-worn tropes, you find yourself completely engrossed. You're turning pages so fast, you don't even notice the ancient spine coming unglued. You try to grab the pages as they come loose, but your fingers aren't quick enough. They're gone.
No. Wait. Impossible 20. Really 20.
Dozens of pages scatter across the floor. The last fifth or so of the book seems to have been lost. It's possible that you could gather and reassemble the pages, but it would take way too long.
I want to do it. Now I'll never know.
Too bad, Detective. If it's any consolation, the resolution is almost never very satisfying.
I need to know.
And on that note, perhaps we should get back to making sense of our own case?
Yes, of course, and it's 9, so it's perfect, but I want to know.
In your hand, you hold 4/5 of Dick Mullen and the mistaken identity.
Put the book away for now. But we will read it again.
The 15th Indotribe. Because there was. The 15th Indotribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forburg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indotribe was your Indotribe, set to rule in Cylinder. The rest of the kids are dead now. Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
Alright. And I'm not really sure what they mean, to be honest. But let's see. Plus 10 cents for every green orb clicked. This is amazing! I'm so happy we can earn more money. I mean, I just spent 7, but it's good. Learning cap for savoir-faire raised to 6. That's also really good because I like this skill.
Aces high.
Oh, another one. What's that?
For the rest of the world, the aces high is just a cool Revachol thing, politically neutral. In Revachol, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, have you looked at Lieutenant Kitsuragi's clothes? He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades, and those cargo pants could store tools for hotfixing your aerostatic. Maybe you should ask him about this.
Oh, I can ask him? That's amazing. +1 empathy towards Kim Kitsuragi, +1 esprit de corps, the roots of the RCM. That seems useful. Alright, I'm happy with these two. That's good. Rigorous self-critique is useful. This one. Yeah, I like all of them. I'm wondering about White Morning, but this is so kind of frustrating that we can't... Wait, I can internalize. I open this one, right? Can I? I can! That's amazing! I forgot about it for some reason. So if we get another one, then we need to unlock. Alright, seems reasonable. So let's go. I don't know where to go. Let's talk to Kim, but maybe in a different location, because we've been in the bookstore for the whole episode. I think I've seen the Wait, it's 9 o'clock. We need to hurry. We need to go into the apartment. Let's go. Oh, wait, why am I worried? The time will not pass until we start the dialogue. So it's kind of perfect. Oh, we are almost here. I see this man. This is amazing. You hear distant traffic. Night is falling on the sky. A maroon glow of light pollution rises from the east. The curtains shift just a little. Someone is watching from within. Amazing! Alright, it looks really exciting. Hello.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
We did. The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette.
It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Amazing.
And his shirt is still unbuttoned.
Yes, the cleaning lady let us in.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
Yeah, I think. I'm not going to make things just right. I'm going to make them spectacular. That's what I may mean for. Yeah, I'm going to make them spectacular.
Beautiful.
Nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
That sounds really dangerous. Why would I want to meet your friend? Is it Friday? It feels like Friday. It's not. But I don't know.
It does feel like the end of the week. It's so magical. The white falling against the black.
Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me. You do.
This is so strange. Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
This is so bad. I feel like it's a trap.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up one by one.
I'm almost sure it's a trap.
Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Why is it important?
Besides, I've got to run.
Sure.
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad.
But I just found you again. Yeah.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
He's right. Only losers go to bed early. Time to break out the booze.
Electrochemistry.
A man on high heels stumbles out of a basement club, music blasting over the entire district. It's chilly, and as the chemicals hit his nervous system, 1,000 shivers ripple through his body.
Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
Really? What?
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
Okay.
Take care, alright?
Level up. And we don't really have any thoughts, so maybe I can finally level up something here. Let me just check everything and we'll do it. What is this? What was that? Why did the sound just became so much louder?
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
Sure. Ooh, that's exciting. Oh, we have save. That's good. Ooh, this is so cool. We have so many things here. A quarterly business magazine. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Dishes soaked up in a pot. An empty ashtray. Flyers for underground parties. Dates for open lectures at a local university. That's great. Education is important. An old photo of the same apartment dated year 01. Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. Ooh! This is cool! We're taking it. What's this? Buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers. What is this? A hat, really? This is so cool! Let's talk!
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Hello.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé.
That's unexpected.
I heard you talking to my friend outside.
Yeah.
Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
This is so suspicious.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot.
Right. Before we go on, I absolutely have to inquire about this wonderful canopy. Tell me where you got this beautiful silk robe from. Why not?
Oh, we got it from an atelier in the East Delta Commerce Center. Personally, I think it's a little culturally insensitive, but the material is great. Sadly, the shop is now out of business.
Alright, got it.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony.
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
You actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
No way. Really? This is just the break we've been looking for. Is it because you did, Mr. Villadruin? Start from the beginning if you don't mind. Yeah, let's be chill.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one.
What do you mean?
That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Wait. I saw all the surrounding windows go dead one by one. So I think a lot of people knew about this, right?
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
Who were they? Can you describe them?
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
How many?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. maybe 8.
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them huge, like 200 kilograms huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
Did any of them look like drummers? That's a strange question, but let's ask.
Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
That's fine, Kim. What happened next?
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men, women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
Ethnicity?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
Alright, that's something. What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean, nothing? Maybe the 8th guy is the one who was hanged?
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Yes, that is very strange. Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock.
Alright.
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
Really?
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
I don't think it was the waste of time. Those are all my questions. Thank you for your time.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
Alright.
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
What is this international community?
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
And what do I call the coalition?
Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
Alright, great. Thank you. It's so strange because he is helpful, but at the same time is not really saying that much. So you're some kind of bureaucrat.
Yes, as I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
Tell me about Sur-la-Clé.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
What makes Revachol Sur-la-Clé's darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Alright.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
I see. So they are kinda trying to govern other cities? What is the price stability?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
That makes sense.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce.
Yeah, so basics of economy.
That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of... Yeah, I know how inflation works. This is fascinating, but I wanted to ask you something else.
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Of course! Give me stuff.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist.
Oh, I know what this means. It means reason to exist. I like when my French decides to pop up in my brain. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist.
But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today.
No!
That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the moral intern's commitment to transparency.
Alright, sounds great.
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Right? Are you a Yeah, he said he is.
But of course.
Am I a moralist?
Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
I mean, yeah, but I feel like I'm being converted into something. Lieutenant, are you a moralist?
Me? I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revachol.
A very moralist answer.
Right?
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
That's true. But what is a normal, stable world? Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
I don't think I'm a moralist. Moralism sounds incredibly boring. Moralism is the ideology of foreign occupiers. Democracy is a meaningless sham as long as the working class is under the boot heel of the capital. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism? It's kinda relatable.
Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer?
Yes, everything else is super extreme. It's like I'm living with a bunch of lunatics. It's usually the most boring one. That's true.
Not boring, my friend. Responsible. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are.
Am I a moralist? Oh my god, what this game is doing to me. I'm not sure. I just want everyone, to be respected and have rights, to marry who they want to marry and, to be valuable for society. Like, oh my god, that's too heavy, really.
Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
All right. Oh my god, Sandy friend, that was interesting. Some self-reflection for sure in a video game, why not? Enough business, let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
Can you tell me about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
How did you two even become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years?
What?
Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry, who?
Don't do that. You know who I'm talking about. Your friend, the smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So, all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts.
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
Amazing. Which arts?
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
They are trying to tell us about his profession and what they were doing here together. What are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
Sure. What view? It's dark outside. I like playing dumb. As Harry, it's kind of funny. Isn't it rude for your friend to leave you alone like this?
We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes.
Nothing's taboo between us, sure.
I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active.
Very active. Do we need to ask about what's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
Wait. Is AEPIS supposed to be Europe? It looks like Europe. With his portrait being, all blue and white. Maybe it is? What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21 and it's been pending ever since.
Alright, I will ask that because I'm almost sure they mean Europe, like a metaphor for Europe.
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
Alright, yeah, I think it is supposed to be Europe.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Of course, Europe has some problems, but overall I love it. So I suppose I should support EPIS in here. Oh my god, alright. By the way, yeah, if you disagree with me about anything related to politics, it's absolutely fine. Just be respectful, guys, alright? Okay, but what does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
Honey, just tell me what EPIS mean, alright? You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Alright, that's kind of funny. Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation.
Thank you, Sunday friend.
But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
Sure. Had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
I think we've talked about everything, so that's all I need.
A moment, officer.
What?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
Why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
It's interesting that this is the character we can only talk to once. I'm not going anywhere, I just want to take a look around in this apartment.
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me know.
Right. Oh, sorry, I interrupted him. Sorry. Right, we don't really have anything here. I'm just checking it one more time. Alright, let's say goodbye to
Was
this
there anything
man.
else?
Yeah, thanks, I've got all I need.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
Alright, you know, I think this is it for today, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I think it was quite interesting, and have a wonderful day. Bye!